We are witnessing one of the biggest retail psyops in history, and we are going to be talking about it. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. If we actually look at what we have been hearing for the last roughly now 2 years is the bricks are moving against the dollar and the dollar is going to collapse. The dollar is dying, this, that, and everything in between. And as we actually look at Morgan Stanley, now remember who Morgan Stanley is. Are they going to tell us the 100%, fully true story? Are they going to tell us everything and make it as easy as possible to make sure that we are prepared? Absolutely not. I've talked about this on multiple occasions. What you see on mainstream media and what the biggest players out there tell you, think about it beyond just the surface level of what they're telling you. I say this all the time when it comes to, it could be BlackRock, it could be any big player out there. If they're telling you one thing, look at every other direction. And if we actually look here from Morgan Stanley, we have how to invest if the US dollar loses might. This was back in March. If we go over here, this was also just recent. This was August of 2023. It's the death of the entire financial system, monetary and social. This market expert warns the US dollar is quickly losing its reserve status. Here's what she likes for protection. Now, again, this is what we've been hearing. And even more recently, the petrodollar. The petrodollar is dead, and that's a big deal. Now, yes, I do think that this is a very big deal, but it's also, I think that we need to look beyond just like the whole idea of like, oh, the petrodollar is dead. What's going to happen from here on out? Let's be honest, you want to dominate this next crypto cycle and make a ton of money. And the best way to do that is by being a part of the Discord. Currently, it is $100 per month, but the best part is that I'm offering you guys 7 days completely free. You get access to everything. You can cancel at any moment. You don't even have to get charged at all. And you get access to a ton of features like these ones listed out on the screen right now. And don't just take it from me. Check out some of the testimonials that are from members of the Discord. There is a ton of great insights being dropped in there every single day. You need to be a part of it. And if you guys aren't yet, at least just trial it and see if you like it. And you can do this by clicking the link down in the description below. Well, what we are going to start to see is the financial system that we know get completely replaced. We're already starting to see it, right? The BIS has been warning us. We have been starting to see everything around us going digital. We've been seeing the rise of AI. We've been seeing the rise of digitalization in specific industries and sectors. And in my opinion, it's only a matter of time until we start to see money itself go from paper-based to digital. It's the evolution of everything. Now, as we look at all these headlines and as we really kind of look at the dollar, we've been hearing and being preached to for well over 2 years now that the dollar is dying and that the dollar is dead. And I even just recently said on X, wait, why is the DXY, the US dollar index, pumping if the bricks are killing the dollar? I thought the US dollar was dead and finished. The entire BRICS narrative is one big orchestrated psyop to distract retail. Every single central bank of the BRICS is a part of the BIS, and so is the US Fed. What is the BIS doing right now? They are in the process of building, trialing, and launching projects based around digitalization, tokenization, and moving away from paper-based currency. Project Enbridge is essentially the infrastructure to the new financial system. Yet, the only thing retail is focused on is the death of the US dollar. Majority are failing to really see the clear picture. Do you really think that media will tell you the path and the full plan and it would be that easy? Absolutely not. Now, this is the US dollar. So from December of last year, it is up over 5.85%. Currently speaking, it's actually up a little bit more than what I had this on. So it's like 5.35%. Now, even if we go back in time, right? This is July of 2023. Look at this. From July of 2023 to where we are at right now, 6.45%. Just recently, 6.95%. And if we go all the way back to 2022 and even 2021, guys, the dollar has been going crazy. And right now we're just kind of ranging sideways, waiting for something to happen. Now, am I bullish on the US dollar? Absolutely not. But I do think that this whole idea that, oh, the dollar's collapsing, it's dead, it's this and that, it's just a major headline. It's getting pushed and it's getting exaggerated, and it's ultimately a psyop. Even BRICS is technically a psyop, and I'm going to talk to you guys about why. Let's go over to the BRICS actually. Just recently, again, a headline article that was going around during the summer of 2023 as well. BRICS to launch a gold-backed currency at the 2024 summit, ? Now, we're going to start to see a lot of speculation around this. Obviously, yes, a gold-backed currency is a big deal. We've been hearing about gold-backed currencies for a while now, and I do think that they will eventually become a reality. In fact, I've told you guys the plan around the new financial system, or at least in my opinion, the plan around the new financial system, which is, you have gold essentially tokenized on-chain, fractionalized as well, backed by, physical gold. And then what you will have is CBDCs backed by that gold, that fractionalized gold. It will probably be revalued as well. And what you'll have is CBDCs issued out on DLT. It could be permissioned, doesn't really have to be public blockchain, especially if it's just going to be central bank money. And that will be backed by gold through an SDR. And you'll still need a bridge currency. You'll still need a neutral bridge currency. I've talked about this as well. XRP, great choice, but there could be multiple. And basically, that will be the new financial system. And you'll have everything in between tokenized. You'll have stablecoins as well. Retail will essentially be utilizing stablecoins at that time. We won't be touching CBDCs. Remember what a CBDC actually is. It's just a stablecoin issued out by the government. They will have CBDCs. We will have stablecoins that will be issued out through private companies that, don't really care about our transactions. They don't want to look at our transactions. They don't care about it. I see this, big narrative around like, oh, these companies will want to, see what you're buying and selling and doing all day long. That's not really a big concern to them, right? Like, they don't really care. Now, do I support a full-on digital-based system? No. In fact, I think that paper-based currency would be great, and it will actually complement even a digital system. But let's be real here. How many people even utilize cash today for payments and transactions? It's a very small percentage of, transactions. And even with credit cards, bank accounts, all that stuff is tracked and traced anyways. It's very easy to track and trace that stuff. But outside of this, let's go over here. Just in, Russia officially declares NATO an enemy alliance. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte's appointment as NATO's Secretary of General will not change anything for Russia, which still sees the alliance as an enemy, the Kremlin said. It is unlikely that this choice can change anything in the general line of NATO. And we have, at the moment, this is an alliance that is an enemy for us. And yeah, it really is in their defense, because they are moving away from the US dollar. They want to move against the US dollar. And we've seen this in the past. In fact, I don't think that I even need to bring up 2009 with, Gaddafi, right? Gaddafi was going against the US dollar. He wanted to launch a gold dinar. Now, at that time, we didn't have blockchain-based technology. We didn't have, crypto. Like we did, right? Bitcoin was kind of new to the scene, but it wasn't as big as it is today. So they were just really kind of looking at a gold dinar, and that was going to challenge the US dollar, essentially. They were challenging the US dollar, and we already know what happened, right? The military is what's really backing our US dollar, as well as payments around debt for the US dollar as well, in terms of the massive amounts of debt that we're printing essentially and selling off to other countries. The payments are back in the US dollar, and our military is as well. But beyond that, there was a great article that got posted back in 2023, and it was "The BRICS Go for Gold." And this is a great breakdown of this, because it actually does mention Gaddafi with Libya back in 2009 with the Pan-African currency, which was a big deal. But again, we already know what happened. Today, it's a little bit different, right? We have a lot of big movement against the US dollar, but it's all to support a new financial system as well. Yes, there's conflict, but that is all supporting it and really kind of accelerating it, because I told you guys in the past, they want to create the problem. They want to get the reaction, and then they push the solution. And we have here that a consortium led by Russia and China has decided to use gold as the foundation for a new international currency system separate from the US dollar and euro. This initiative is expected to be formally introduced at a meeting of leaders from Brazil, Russia, India, and China in August, resembling the Bretton Woods Conference of 1944, which established the US dollar linked to gold as the cornerstone of the international financial system. Various governments have proposed similar gold-based systems in recent decades, such as Malaysia with their 2019 Pan-Asian currency and Libya's 2009 Pan-African currency. The push for a gold-based system gained momentum after the Ukraine conflict led to Russia's exclusion from the Western financial system and the freezing of its foreign reserves, highlighting the need for alternative arrangements. The IMF, which once supported the gold standard, banned it in 1978, maintaining the dominance of the floating fiat dollar. A gold standard aims to stabilize currency value, similar to how some currencies are linked to the euro today. Historically, gold has provided a stable standard of value, which is why many countries now seek a universally stable basis for their currencies, much like the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944. And what we're starting to see rise is the new Bretton Woods, right? We're starting to see a completely different but similar Bretton Woods rising today. And we do mix in the new technologies. We mix in AI, we mix in DLT, blockchain, all of it to support this entire system. And it's what's really kind of happening now. And the BIS, the Central Bank of Central Banks, is also even telling us this with a lot of their projects. One project that is very interesting is Project Leap, right? We have, how can we address the inherent threat that quantum computers pose to the cryptographic algorithms used in today's financial systems? And this is a breakdown of, why are we now looking into quantum-based technology? Why are we now looking into all of these things around security and the threat of quantum-based computers? Well, it's because as we really look at this, we're also pushing towards a DLT-based financial system. And we know this through the Finternet, which is another thing that the BIS has been pushing. Just recently, actually, managing director of the BIS, Augustin Carstens, states tokenized financial assets that can be brought on the unified ledger is an example of a giant leap in financial architecture. The Finternet is here. Big shout out to Subjective Views for this. And remember, I just want to say real quick before I play this video, all of these projects are tied together in some way. They're all taking pieces from these projects. And you can look at all of these projects. I mean, just recently in the last 2 years, I think, we've started to see a lot of these big projects pushed by the BIS, and every single one of them include DLT, blockchain, some type of new technology is always tied to this. And it's all based around DLT, blockchain, and even AI. And I mean, look at just the last, couple months. Like, these are massive projects being pushed by the BIS, and every single one of them, you could go and look for yourselves. It almost all ties right back to blockchain, crypto, DLT, which is why I always say, like, this space is so much bigger than what most people are anticipating, because if we're going to start to see this entire new world of finance being created through DLT and blockchain, guys, it is going to be massive from where it is today. I mean, $3 trillion back in November of 2021, that's nothing for where we're headed if we're going to start to see pieces of this space being implemented globally around this new financial system. But listen closely to this video.
This is why I believe that sometimes we need giant leaps that deliver a fundamental rethink of the financial system and foster the development of entirely new architectures. Let me give you a concrete example of a giant leap. Tokenization is, in my view, a technology with transformative potential for the financial system. Tokenized digital assets contain both the information necessary to uniquely identify assets and their owners, as well as the rules and logic governing their use. When correctly used, tokens could increase the speed, lower the cost, and heighten the efficiency of financial transactions. Note my qualifier, correctly used. It is important. By themselves, tokenized assets could improve the financial system only incrementally. If tokens were to trade through existing financial pipes, they would have to rely on the same long and complex sequences of messages passed back and forth between financial institutions. And these complex sentences are the cause of many costs and delays in today's financial system. To unleash the promise of tokenization, i.e. to deliver a giant leap, we need to bring the different kinds of tokens together. Commercial bank money, central bank money, tokens on different assets. Unified ledgers are the platforms where this can happen. Once these different tokens are brought together in the same programmable platforms, new functionalities can be deployed, like smart contracts and composability. With them, sequences of transactions could be automated and seamlessly integrated. This would eliminate the need for manual interventions and redundant compliance controls, two issues that significantly delay transactions along the chain of a cross-border payment. It would also enable simultaneous instant payments and immediate and simultaneous settlement across a whole range of assets. Tokens could, in principle, contain any financial asset, but tokenized money is a core requirement. As Yuval Noah Harari, whom you will have the pleasure to listen to in this conference, said, "Money is the most universal and most efficient system of mutual trust ever devised." The unified ledger system would build on the trust of the two-tier system of today's financial system. All transactions are carried in commercial bank money, but their final settlement happens in central bank money. And even greater leaps are possible. In a recent paper, Nandan Nilekani and I laid out a vision of how multiple financial ecosystems can interact with each other to form the future financial system, which we have labeled Finternet. The Finternet would empower individuals and businesses by placing them at the center of their financial lives. Unified ledgers connected to each other through application programming interfaces play a central role in this vision. They would be accompanied by a rich canopy of associated financial applications and services, delivering more choice and lower costs to users.
And everything that he just said is exactly what we have been watching for, right? APIs, like DLT, believe it or not, through APIs, DLT is the key there. Quant Network Overledger, right? We know Project Rosalind was fully really addressing APIs and the connections between CBDCs with APIs and how we can achieve specific use cases and applications through tapping in to the next generation technologies, which is DLT, AI, things like that can be realized through specific players in this space. Believe it or not, the biggest winners out of this technological advancement are already being handpicked. And I've addressed this, right? Look at some of the connections. Connect the dots and you'll see the winners that are being handpicked. And it's through a lot of these projects that the BIS is embracing. That's why I look at Ripple already working with the BIS through the CPMI group, or I even look at, Quant through Project Rosalind. Like, these are already two winners in my book because of them working with the BIS and basically being handpicked around some of these projects and even organizations. So to me personally, as we really look at what's going on here, it's not so much about how the BRICS are dethroning the US dollar. It's more so about these new payment applications, these new payment systems rising. And now today we have the technology to actually interconnect all of this and really bring about this new financial system. And that's exactly what we're starting to see with a lot of this conflict, with a lot of these moves being made by the BRICS. Obviously, yes, there's a significant pushback against the US dollar. These nations don't want to be tied to the US dollar anymore. They don't want to be told what they can and can't do. And as the US dollar is the reserve currency, and as the US is in their position, well, guess what? they can basically bully these other nations through a financial weapon, which is, of course, the US dollar. And that's why we're starting to see such a big pushback. And as we look at the BRICS, they're expanding rapidly. It's not just, 5 nations now. It's well over, 20 plus, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. And that dominance is becoming much larger. And that's where we start to see the entire financial system moving towards a much more digital based, but modernized based system where DLT, blockchain, gold, AI, all of it plays a significant role. And again, this conflict that we're seeing between BRICS and the US, it's starting to become a big, big deal, and everyone's starting to see it happening in real time. And we're like, what's the answer to this? Well, the US is going to tell you the answer to it. And it's going to be, we need a full-on digital-based system. And that's what's accelerating that push towards a digital-based system. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.